All that being said, let's get to this boxing thing.
Mm.
We gonna build to the main. I want to go through and we go through it quick. We'll go through it quick. But I want to talk about some of these guys. That first fight. So I had something I really wanted to point out about this fight. Fabio Wardley, excuse me, and Frazer
Fabio
Clarke.
Wardley.
They just fought 7 months ago. Okay. We had 29-year-old in the ring against a 33-year-old in the ring. I think Fabio was like 9-0. And then
that was Frazer Clarke.
I'm sorry. Frazer Clarke was like 8-0 at the time.
Yes.
8-0 at the time. And then Fabio was
17-0.
17-0 at the time. And so reason why I'm pointing that out, these guys, if they did this the way some of these other fighters are doing it, they're both elite at heavyweight. Both these guys could have fought against one another for a title, could have fought against one another for all of the titles if and when they were available. They ain't available right now. We already know what it is. But these guys, for them to take on one another and not have to, because we know you could orchestrate things differently in boxing, I wanted to salute them both, not only for the first fight, but 7 months later, coming right back and fighting against one another. The first fight ended in a draw. It was a banger. Both these guys took some shots. Both these guys did what they were supposed to do. And to come back 7 months later, but we got guys that win a world championship title by knockout, and we don't see them again for another 12 months. We don't see them again for another 11 months, 10 months. It ain't no reason, no excuse you guys can't get busy. These guys got busy again. And Zittel, I'm gonna come to you first because Fabio, right? He got the knockout, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that there was debris from the that fight from 7 months ago that was present that caused, you know what I mean?
Say it again? Do I think what?
Do you think that the fight that happened previously 7 months ago, it was a banger? Do you think that there was debris from that fight that carried over to this match and the punch resistance was low for Frazer Clarke?
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard for me to honestly say. Like, I didn't analyze their first fight all that much. And by the time we got to it on the card, I was so ready to see the main event. It's just all I really saw from that fight. And I know Wardley is rated in the top 10 at the bottom, near 8 and 9 in a couple of sanctioning bodies, but he just seemed more talented than Frazer Clarke, who was trying to just stick to the fundamentals with his hands up. And Wardley had that lead hand down and was a little more talented on the outside. And then he looped that right hand and caught Frazer Clarke, and Clarke didn't see it coming, couldn't recover. Yeah. You know, I didn't analyze the first fight well enough, to be quite honest with you, to tell you, if that's the case.
I don't think that that's the case, but I wanted your opinion as well. Yeah. Obviously, you can't give it to me from that standpoint, but I just, again, while I'm telling these guys they need to be busier, I want to make sure that, hey, the number one thing you need to understand when it comes to being busy is you got to take care of yourself inside and outside of the ring. Things such as recovery, things such as taking the right supplements and the nutrition. All that stuff is important. If you want to come back 7 months in the heavyweight division and rematch against somebody that's just as elite as you are, and you get knocked out in the first round, I want to make sure that I'm not putting out the wrong information. And these guys are feeling like I can go every 5, 7 months and they're not healthy. You know what I mean? So I don't know how these guys did, how they took care of themselves and things like that. They both looked very fresh in the first round. It's the heavyweight division. One punch can end it. And that's what we saw coming from Wardley, man. But both those guys, man, I had both those guys in high esteem. And I was surprised when they fought the first time. I was surprised to see them going back at it 7 months later. So I was super, super excited about it. I got that off my chest. Let's move on unless anybody else got anything.
Well, what round did it end in?
First round.
Oh, it was first round knockout.
First round. Wardley caught him over the top, caught Frazer over the top in the first round. And then it just kind of
with the punch. He had like something wrong with his face, right?
Did he? I don't know.
Yeah,
it was like he had to go to the hospital.
Yeah, his face contorted in a way, right? And
yeah,
like his mouth
tripping.
Slanted or something afterwards. I
hope he's all right. I hate to hear that. I hope he's all right.
I mean, he got caught near the temple, up around here. So
his more than likely, I'm not a doctor, but his nerves probably loose
Right.
I hate to hear that.
Right.
He had a fractured jaw.
But I'm telling y'all, in another year, Wardley is going to be that guy. He's a little bit of a Jared Anderson with more power. I think he's more seasoned, obviously much a little older, and I think much more prepared to become a world champion in the next year. So,
well, I mean, the knockout ratio is there, but you're one of the first top commentators, I think, to really kind of be sold on him going forward. So
I was sold on both those guys. What is it about Wardley?
Well, no, I just think I don't know if the boxing world is sold that he's beyond the domestic level, like a Dillian White, like a Derek.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think people know he's definitely a good, burgeoning British heavyweight. If he's really a threat to become champion of the division, I feel like you're one of the first guys.
But look at us over here in the States. We go from NABO to a WBO. Like that's our maturation process is this. Over there, they go after those British titles and things before they go to the world level.
The EBU.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. What and was he 10-0 now?
18-0, one draw.
I'm sorry. I keep getting their records.
And I think I got it up here. He's 9th with the WBA and 8th with the WBC, 12 with the IBF, and 8th with the WBO. So he's basically in the top 10 for all four at this point.
If and we could probably end on this, but if English fighters, if the English boxing community had more pull in the United States, we'd see more of them over here. That I believe was Eddie Hearn's purpose of launching the over here. Well, not just Joshua, but when he came over here and he tried to get US fighters and stuff like that. I know he's done fights in Chicago. I mean, he's done fights in some random cities,
Boston,
here in the United States, because he wants to have a foot in America. You got your foot in America, just bring those guys over here. It doesn't have to be the biggest show for you to bring them over here, or does it because of maybe because of the economic side of it? But I'm ready to see Fabio on the biggest stage.